Welcome back, learners. Now, this is the question that I said we are going to do after the break. Remember the question on constructing a formula where most of you are experiencing a problem. So let us look quickly at the question. The question that it's saying, the information given to us is saying, the municipality invited tenders from cleaning companies to provide cleaning services to its offices in various areas. Cleaning must be done 5 days a week. Two of the quotations were as follows. The first quotation, which was from Sunshine Sanitation. They charge R150 per day. There is no flat rate. R150 per day, but a minimum of 10 days will be charged every month. Please, before you go anywhere, make sure that you understand what the statement is saying to you. They charge 150 rand per day, but a minimum of 10 days will be charged every month, which means even if per month the company, says they must work for 2 days, for that 2 days, they are going to be charged for 10 days, which means at the end for 2 days, they are going to pay, it's 150 per day, so it will be for 2 days. For 2 days, they will be charged 10 multiplied by 150, which is 1,500. 1,500, yes, 1,500. So please make sure that you understand the statement. Even if maybe they work for 6 days, they will still be charged 1,500. That is what the statement is telling us. The second one charges a flat rate of 600 per month. So whether they work for a day, for 2 days, for 3 days, they will still pay 600 rand. Flat rate. And further, the statement is saying 200 rand a day. And 5 days are cleaned free of charge every month. Let us look at the info. If maybe they work for 3 days, because they are saying 5 days will be cleaned for free every month, which means they will pay 600, but let's say they work for only 3 days, which means, remember the statement is telling us 5 days is for free, which means this company will pay only 600 rand if those people come and clean for 3 days. If they clean for, let's say, 5 days, they will still pay only 600 rand, because remember there is a minimum payment, a flat rate of 600 rand per month. Now this 200 is only charged per day, but for days which are over 5. Let's say now they are asking these people to work for 6 days. How is it going to be like? There's a flat rate of 600 rand plus 200 rand per day. But remember, it's not going to be 200 for 6 days now. From these 6 days, we must know that there is that 5 days whereby they are not going to pay for. So it will only be 200 rand multiplied by 1, that extra day which is above 5 days. So you have to understand that before you start answering questions. Now 2.1.1. Study the table and information above about the contract and suggest an equation to calculate the cost if tip-top cleaning is used. Tip-top is the second one. So this is the one that we are going to work with. Remember, there is a flat rate of 600 rand. So in your formula, there must be that value. Let me get a clean paper. So for 2.1.1, the formula will be 600 rand plus, now remember, there is this 200 rand. So this 200 rand is paid for. Let us go back. We said if it's 5 days, they only pay 600 rand. But because on the information they are saying 5 days are for free. Now if they work, let's say for 6 days, now we said it will only be 200 multiplied by 1. Because from these 6, 5 days are not charged. So in order for us to get number of days where the company is expected to pay, it means this 200 will be multiplied by number of days. From those number of days, we have to subtract 5 days, because for 5 days it is for free. I hope we understand that one. Let us look. After writing the formula, make sure that you check if the information given there on the table, this formula is correct for the information given on the table. Let us just test by using this one, by 9, if maybe we are going to get the same answer if we use this formula. 600 plus 200, we are just checking. This is your formula. We are just checking. 200 multiplied by, how many days do we have? I cannot put multiplication in a bracket. How many days? It's 9. But from that line, there is 5 days, which the company is not going to pay for. So it's 600 plus 200 multiplied by 9 minus 5. It's 4. Let us just check that we'll get 1,200. It's 600 plus 200 multiplied by 4. It's 1.4. What happened? Is it 9 days? Tip top, 1,200. It's 200 multiplied by 9 minus that. Okay, Lena, sorry. There is something wrong with the value which is given to us there. It is not supposed to be 1.2, but it's supposed to be 1.4. You know what? Let us check using this one. Let us check our formula using this one. It will be 600 and then plus 200 multiplied by, from 12 days, we should remember that 5 days is for free. So it's 600 plus 200 multiplied by 12 minus 5. I think it's a 7. Let us check that one. 600 plus 200 multiplied by a 7. There you go. So our answer is 2,000. Remember, we were doing this just to check if our formula is correct. So let us go back to the formula. We set the formula for 2.1.1. Tip top cleaning. The formula is 600 plus 200 multiplied by number of days, and then from this number of days we have to subtract a 5, because we know that 5 days will be cleaned for free according to the information given to us. Good. 2.1.2. Now they say we must use the equation to determine the value of A. Let us see. Our A will be equals to 600 plus 200. How many days for A? There are 6 days, so it's 6 minus 5, because we know that 5 days will be for free. Then it's 600 plus 200 multiplied by 1. So the answer in this case, what is the answer? The answer is 800. That is the value of A. And then 2.1.3. Let's go to 2.1.3. Use the equation to prove that an amount of 4,000 will be charged if Tip Top has cleaned the offices for 22 days. You can just see how important it is to get your formula correct. Because we have used the correct formula for 2.1.2, we are still using the formula again for 2.1.3. So please make sure that you write the correct formula. 2.1.3, still for Tip Top cleaning, equals to, it's 600 plus 200. How many days? 22 days minus those 3 days, which is 5. So it's 600 plus 200 multiplied by 22 minus 5, 17, equals to, so it's 600 plus 200 multiplied by 17. So the answer is 4,000. So our formula is definitely correct. And then 2.1.4, determine the value of B. What the value of B? Go back to the information given to you. There is your B. B is for sunshine sanitation. Remember, they said they charge 150 per day, but a minimum of 10 days will be charged every month, which means even if they come and clean for 9 days, they will be charged as if they have the services was done for 10 days. So this one is 12. 2.1.4, our B, it's 150 multiplied by how many days for B? It's 12 days. So it's multiplied by 12. What is the answer in this case? 150 multiplied by 12, 1,800. So the answer in this case is 1,800. Please don't forget the symbol to indicate that you are dealing with money. And then 2.1.5, provide any two possible reasons why Tip Top charges a flat rate of 600 and why Sunshine Cleaning charges for a minimum of 10 days. Any possible reason. But please make sure that you understand the context of the question. I think in this case they are asking why are the two companies making sure that at the end of each and every month there is a money coming to the company. Make sure that you understand the context. Any two possible reasons why Tip Top and Sunshine are making sure that they get money at the end of each and every month? There are so many things about this context. The first one may be because they want to make sure that they have enough money to pay the workers, because there are permanent workers which are working for the cleaning companies. The second one, to make sure that they buy the utensils, which means the cleaning materials that they are going to use. The other reason may be because they are the companies, they have to pay tax, they have to make sure that they have money to pay tax. So those are the possible reasons. You can think of other possible reasons. And then 2.1.6, it is saying, it is estimated that the cleaning companies will work 20 days per month. Calculate how much the municipality will save if they go for a cheaper option. Let us start with Tip Top. Tip Top is 600. We know the formula by now. 200. Number of days is 20 minus 5. So it's 600 plus 200 multiplied by 15, because 5 days are for free. 600 plus 200 multiplied by 15, 3,600. They will charge 3,600 for 20 days. And then Sunshine, remember Sunshine, it's 150 multiplied by 20. 150 multiplied by 20, what is the price? It's 3,000. So if they go for the cheaper one, in this case, which one is the cheaper? It is Sunshine. So they will be saving 600 rand if they go for Sunshine. So grade 12s, for tomorrow, definitely you are going to get a question whereby you are expected to construct a formula. And when you construct a formula, unlike in this case, you know, by saying number of days, others may say 600 plus 200, and then they say n minus 5. Maybe you can write your formula like this. If you write your formula like this, please make sure that n stands for. If there is any variable that you are using in the formula, make sure that there is an explanation of that what that variable is standing for. So for tomorrow, you are going to get a question on constructing a formula. Make sure that you practice and practice today, so that when you get a question like that tomorrow, you are able to answer that particular question. And for me, for now, I want to wish you well for tomorrow. Good luck. Just know that paper 2, it is not as bad as everybody thinks. Just make sure that you read to understand. Make sure that you understand the question, the information given to you before you start answering questions. Good luck for tomorrow. Thank you. I'll give over to Dr. Renette van der Merwe to continue with some of the questions that you may expect for tomorrow. Thank you.
Good day, grade 12, and welcome to my part of the session that we are going to do today for your exam prep for paper 2 tomorrow. Grade 12, when you are going to do paper 2, I want to re-emphasize what Tsidi said to you earlier on. It is very, very, very important that you must read your questions extremely well, and that you must not just dive into a question and try to solve it without first making sense of it. I'm just going to try and illustrate to you what I mean by doing an example, also from a former paper that appeared, but let us focus on analyzing the question and really see what the question is about before you just start answering the questions. Let us look at the question given to you here. Mrs. James, the principal of Vuka High School, conducted a survey amongst all the learners at her school. Now, you see the block? We know that some more information is going to follow. In one of the questions, all the learners were asked the time to the nearest minute that they usually took to travel to school each day. The responses to this question are shown in the table below. Very important, when you are given a table, that you must first of all understand what is shown in the table, and then you must understand how to read the table well. The heading that you see here clearly tells us what is in the table. In the table, you will see the time usually taken by all the learners of Vuka High School to travel to school each day. They say clearly that on this row, we are going to give you the various times given, the various times that it takes learners to go to the school. In this row, we're going to every time tell you the number of learners that is taking that specific amount of time. And then we are going to take that number of learners and we are going to express this as a percentage of learners. Okay. First of all, let us think, what does it mean to say to the nearest minute? I want to explain to you what does it mean if I say to the nearest minute. Say for instance, it is established that it takes, say for instance, some learners an average of 194.6 minutes to travel to school. If we want to take it to the nearest minute, we don't want the decimal comma. We want a whole number. When we round this, therefore, off to a whole number, we see that the 6 here can make the 4 the next number. So the 194 will then be rounded off to 195 minutes. So if I am rounding something off to the nearest minute, it means that I do not want a decimal comma. And therefore you will see in none of these numbers there is a decimal comma. They are all rounded off to the nearest minute. Grade 12, it's very important that you must read this very well. If you look at what is standing in each of these columns, very nice. Look, the time taken in this case is from 0 minutes to less than 10 minutes. Meaning that 10 minutes is not included in this interval. If you look at the next interval where it says 10 minutes to less than 20 minutes, this means then that 10 is included in the next interval. Okay, so for 0 to less than 10, 0 is included, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 is included, but 10 is not included. For 10 to less than 20 means you start with 10, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. They are all included, but 20 is not included. Okay. after you have made sense of the table that you are busy with, and this can take, you can take your time and you can really think what this is about, then you can start looking at what it is that you must calculate or what is asked of you to do. Now, in this case, it is asked that the missing values must be calculated, A and B in the table. So, go and establish where is A in the table that you must calculate and where is B in the table that you must calculate. Find the two values and then you go and see what is it that you must calculate about these values. If you go and look at A, the value of A, you will see that it is about the percentage of learners, and it's specifically the percentage of learner that takes 20 to less than 30 minutes to travel up to school. Okay? How am I going to calculate A? Now, what is very important is that you must remember that when you are dealing with percentages, 100% is always indicate for us that it is the full number. Okay? If, for example, you take a glass of water and you fill the glass with water up to the brim, it is 100% full. If you put more water into that glass, it's going to start overflowing. 100% is indicating for me the full number that it is taking up. If you then look at all of these learners that is incorporated, all of the learners, the percentage must add up to 100%. So if I want to calculate A, I must therefore find the total of all these individual minutes and then I must subtract it from 100. So what you must do is you must simply add 15,6 plus 27,2 plus 22,4 plus 7,2 plus 2,4 plus 6,0 plus 4,4. You can do that on your calculator. Do that quickly and tell me what do you get. Okay, grade 12. What did you get when you added all those percentages? You should have had an answer of 85,2%, meaning that all these values given are adding up to 85,2%. If I therefore want to find out what is the value of A, I must say 100% minus 85,2%, and then you get an answer of 14,8%. Now grade 12, what I like to do, once I have found the value, I go and I write the value there so that I can remember that I have already calculated that value. Otherwise, if later on you need the value, you need to page back and to find the value. And while doing so, you may lose concentration and not be so focused on what you are doing right at that point in time. So I like, once I have found the value of a certain number in a table, to go and write that missing value so that I know what it is in case I need it later on. Calculate the missing value of B now. This is going to be a number of learners that we must calculate. As a matter of fact, it is the number of learners that takes 70 to less than 80 minutes to come to school. Okay? Let us look at that B. What do we know already? We know that this B is 4,4% of the total number of learners that took part in this specific survey. The question is now, what is the total number of learners that is taking part in this survey? If you go and look at the information given, you will see that it was never stated what is the total number of learners that took part in this survey? Can we calculate it? Yes. You can use now any one of the known two values that you have to go and calculate the total number of learners participating in this survey. Let me show you. If, for example, you go and think 195, which is the number of learners which take 0 to less than 10 minutes to come to the school, that 195 over the total amount of learners in the survey will give you, multiply by 100, will give you 15.6%. Okay? If I take the 195, I divide it by the total number of learners, I multiply it by 100, I should get the answer of 15.6%. So now, to be able to get this value, the total, I need to change the subject of the formula here, or I need to change so that I have total is equal to. How do I do that? Okay, let us go back to my original, what I wrote. 195 over total times 100 gives me 15.6%. I want the total on this side. So what I must do is I can take the 100 to that side. And what do I do when I take 100 to that side? I must cancel it on this side. If I divide with 100 on this side, it's okay. But then I must go and divide with 100 also on that side. Okay? If I do it on this side, the 100 will cancel. And now I'm sitting with 195 over the total is equal to 15.6 over 100. Let us work that out. 15.6 over 100. I move the comma and I get 0.156. Okay. What now about this thing of the total? Grade 12, it is very, very important to see that this total is under the line, that it is not above the line. I'm going to suggest for you two methods now. If you must change to the subject of the formula, and say for instance, the one that you want to change to is under the line. Let me use a total mathematical method here. What I can do is, I can say, I want my 195 to be gone on this side. So what can I do if I want it to be gone on this side? I can multiply with 1 over 195. Why do I do that? If I multiply with 1 over 195, these two will cancel. But remember what I do on the left, I must also do on the right. So if I multiply on the left with 1 over 195, I must also multiply on the right. If I'm talking about on the left and on the right, I'm talking about the left of the equal sign, this side, and the right is then that side of the equal sign. So if I'm going to multiply here with 1 over 195, I must also do it and say multiply 1 over 195. Okay. But grade 12, what is very important? Where is this total standing? This total is under the line. So I cannot just now go and multiply and be finished about it. Okay? I can go and multiply 0.156, multiply 1, divide by 95, and I get on my calculator 1 over 1250. Some of you will see the answer of 8 times 10 to the power of minus 4. Just press the SD button if you are using a calculator so that you can get the other format. Remember, the ST button is that button there. Okay. Now, since I'm having 1 over total on this side, what is it that I must do now only to get total? To only get total, I must swap the top and the bottom. In other words, I must write total at the top and 1 at the bottom. Why? Total over 1 will just be total. Okay? But if I write on that side, the left-hand side, the total at the top, I must also write on the right-hand side what is here at the bottom. We call it the denominator. I must write it on the top. So I must swap the top and the bottom also on the right-hand side. And then I will see that my total will become 1250, 1250, which is then the total number of learners who is participating in this survey. That's one way of doing it. Okay. Another way of doing it, let's go here. We want to calculate B. Remember we said to be able to calculate, I want to say 195 over the total number of learners will give me, multiply 100, will give me 15.6%. Okay. Now the first part, I will suggest that you do it just like we did it right now. And we will take the 100 first, which is now right now appearing on the left-hand side. We are going to take it to the right. Now remember, if I am going to remove the 100 on the left-hand side, I'm going to divide by 100. Okay? And if I do it on the left, I must also do it on the right. So I'm also then going to divide on the right-hand side by 100. Now I have 195 over the total. Multiply 100 over 100, it's the same as multiplying with 1. 100 divided by 100 is 1. So you can just say any number multiplied by 1 is that number again. And this is equal, if you work out on your calculator, 15.6 will give, divide by 100 will give you 0.156. Okay. Grade 12, if you are having 3 values like this, we can put them in a triangle to assist us with changing of the subject of the formula. We draw an ordinary triangle. Then we draw a line to show that we are dividing it in 2 parts. And then we only divide the bottom part again into 2 parts. If we are now going to write the formula, you can write it like this. This side you have 195 over the total. You have 195 over the total. And that is equal to 0.156. So if I now want the total, I read it from my triangle. I read that I must take 195 and I must divide it by 0.156. Are you with me? I'm putting the 3 values in a triangle. In other words, I'm taking my 195, I'm taking my total, and I'm taking my 0.156, and I am putting it so that it will give me the current formula that I'm seeing. If you look at that 195 over total, 195 will go to the top part of the triangle, and the total will go to the bottom. It doesn't really matter whether you put the total here or here. Okay. So total is going to be, then my 0.156 go into other part of the bottom part of the triangle. So if I want the total, I simply say 195 divided by 0.156. 6. And if you press that on your calculator, you will see you immediately get 1250. Now let me just explain how such a triangle works. If you have any three quantities where you want to calculate something, then if you put the quantities in a triangle like this, remember the total is 1250, so in the place of the total I write 1250. We read the total as the triangle as follows. I'm going to do it for you in this case with numbers so that you can see how it makes sense. To get this number here, the 1250, we simply say the value at the top, 195, divide by the value at the bottom, 0,156. Say for instance, I want to get the 195. What must I do to get 195? In this case, it was easy because you could easily see that the 1 is going to be on top of the other one. But what do I want to do if I want the 1 on the top? Then, since these two things are next to each other, you simply multiply them. Okay? So if you want the number here, you simply multiply the two numbers at the bottom. If you want this value here, 0,156, if I cover there, you will see what I need to do is I need to take the top value of the value here and divide it by the bottom one here. 195 divided by 1250. And I want you to go and check this and make sure that it's giving you the same value every time. That if you say 195 divided by 0,156, you do get 1250. So that you understand what does it mean to put the three quantities into the triangle. Okay. Grade 12, I will show you after I'm finished with this one, just one more place where you can also fruitfully use a triangle such as this one. But first, let us just go on here, 1.1.2. What does 1.2 now want from us? Remember what I told you? Once you got a value, let us go and write that value down. Okay. We know, I'm sorry, I'm not finished with B yet. We know now that the total number of learners that is taking part in this survey is 1,250. Okay? Now I want to work out B. We know that if I take B and I divide it by the total, I will get 4,4%. Okay? Let us put it also in a triangle. I get 4,4% if I take B and I divide it by 1250. So what must I do now if I want B? What must I do if I want B? Since B is now here at the top, I must go and multiply 1250 by 4,4%. But grade 12, you must remember that percent means per 100. Per means divide by 100. So if I want to get the percentage here, I need to divide by 100. So the formula showed me, the triangle showed me that to get B, I must say 1250 multiply 4,4%. But then at the end of the day, to get my value, I must now divide because I need to go and get my percentage value. And if I do that, 1250 multiply 4.4 divide by 100, you get 55. Remember, the 100% is the full amount of percent, so the percentage sign is now gone, and B is just a number, the number of learners that I have at the end of the day. So I'm going to write there 55, just to make sure that I remember that that is the value of B. Okay. Should you did not want to use the formula there using the triangle, you could have said, remember, B out of 1250 out of the total, multiply by 100, give me 4,4. Okay? So, I could have said B over 1250 is equal to, I want the 100 to be gone, so I'm going to divide by 100 on the left, then I must also divide by 100 on the right. This is just 1, so I get 4,4 over 100. The question is, what must I now do to take 1250 away? I only want B alone. Now, 1250, you are dividing by it currently. So, if you want it gone, you must multiply with 1250 over 1. Look, it will cancel. Then it's gone. Then B is alone. But then you need to multiply with 1250 on this side also. Okay? And if you do so, you will see it's the same calculation as there. 4,4 times 1250 divided by 100, you will get 55 learners. Grade 12, there is always more than one way to go about finding some answers. Okay? And it's just important that you must apply your mind and think of the way that's going to be more comfortable for you to use. Let us look at 1.1.2. What percentage of learners take 40 minutes or more to travel to school? Many learners will go here and just look 40 to less than 50. But this question did not say here take 40 minutes to less than 50. This question talked about 40 minutes overall. So it's very important that you must also realize that the learners here, 50 to less than 60 is taking more than 40 minutes. 60 to less than 70, the learners here is also taking more than 40 minutes, and the learners here are also taking more than 40 minutes. So actually, it is all of these learners who is taking more than 40 minutes. Not just the ones in this column. If they ask what number of learners is taking 40 minutes or more, then you would have worked with these values. But now they ask us what percentage of learners are taking 40 or more minutes. Now, since they are working with percentage, I am going to work not with the number of learner values, but I'm going to work with the percentage values. So to be able to know what all learners are going to, what time it's going to take for the learners, you need the percentage of learners that takes 40 minutes or more. You need to add all these percentages. 7,2 plus 2,4 plus 6,0 plus 4,4. And if you do so, you will see it is 20%. Okay. Grade 12, before I just look at the next question, there's something that I need you to please understand very well. I see that a lot of you have problems when we are converting certain numbers. And the one that is for sure a problem is if I am saying I'm having 1,4 hours. Many learners think that I'm then saying I'm having 1 hour. You put your 0 there and you say 40 minutes. Some will even say 1 hour, 4 minutes. Okay. What is very important is that you must remember that when I'm working with hours and minutes, the conversion factor is 60 and not 10, like we do when we work on the decimal number system. If I am going to do this, you are going to be wrong. Okay, let me try to explain it for you just by first of all taking an easier example. Say for instance, I tell you, it takes me to get to your school 1.5 hours. 1.5 hours? You know that a half can also be written as 0.5. So you can also say 1.5 hours. Just think for a moment. How long does 1.5 hours means, or 1.5 hours? If you go and think, an hour is 60 minutes, half an hour we all know is 30 minutes. So if I say 1.5 hour, I say 1 hour, 30 minutes. Now where did the 30 come from? This is what I'm trying to explain to you. If I'm having 1.5 hours, I cannot say 1 hour 50 minutes or 1 hour 5 minutes. No. The 1 hour is obvious, yes. But when it comes to the 0.5, you need to work out what fraction is that of 60 minutes. So if I come to 0.5 hours, I need to ask myself how many minutes. And this I can answer by saying there's 60 minutes, or let's say, yes, 1 hour has 60 minutes. So 0.5 hours will have, you do your over cross multiplication, 0.5 hours times 60 minutes over 1 hour, and you will see this is going to give you 30 minutes. Okay? So if I say 1 hour, 1.4 hours, what must I do? The 1 is obvious. It is 60, the 1 hour is 1 hour. But the 0.4 is a fraction of that hour. So I must go back and say 1 hour is 60 minutes. So 0.4 hours will be, I do my over cross multiplication, 0.4 hours times 60 minutes divide by 1 hour. And if you go and work that out, you will see that that is only 24, the hours cancel, minutes. So grade 12, please, when it comes to something like 1.4 hours, don't think it's 1 hour 40 minutes or 1 hour 4 minutes. It is not. You must go and work out what fraction it is. And in this case, we can see that it will mean 1 hour 24 minutes. Okay. Grade 12, just before I step down, unfortunately our time is up. I want to talk just about another form of conversion that I see that is many times problematic. And this conversion is if you go from kilometers and to meters and centimeters and millimeters. I want you to remember the following. I'm going to do for you first of all with meters. Remember when we are going to do length. When we are doing length, we are doing it in terms of meters. Now, if you must do conversions and it's in terms of meters, write them down like this. Start with your kilometer, which is your biggest unit. Then meter, which is your base unit. I go a little bit smaller, I get centimeter, and smaller, I get millimeter. Now grade 12, the conversion factor between all of these things, you can determine it like this. The conversion factor from kilo to meter is 1000. If you go from the base unit to centi, it is 100. Can you see? I'm dropping a 0. If you go from centi to milli, drop a 0 again, your conversion factor will be 10. This is the things between which you convert. If you go in the right direction to that side, you multiply. If you go in this direction, you divide. Okay, let me just show you. Say for instance, I want to put a distance of 12 kilometers. I want to ask myself how many meters it is. When I go from kilometer to meter, I'm going in that direction. So I'm going to multiply. And by what factor? I'm going from kilometer to meter. So I'm going to multiply by 1,000. And that will give me 12,000 meters. Are you with me? Say for instance, I'm having 10 meters. And I want to know how many centimeters do I have. I'm going from meter to centimeter. I'm going to that direction, so I'm going to multiply. With what am I going to multiply? I'm going to multiply with 100. So that will give me, 10 meter will give me 10 multiplied by 100, 1,000 centimeters. Let us just take one back. Say for instance, I've got 2 millimeter and I want to take 2 millimeter to centimeter. If I'm moving from millimeter to centimeter in that direction, I'm going to divide. The question is by how much? I'm going to divide, I'm going from millimeter to centimeter, so I'm dividing by 10. So this will give me 0,2 centimeter. Say for instance, I want to go from millimeter to meter. Now you must please be careful. If I want to go from millimeter to meter, I'm going to go to 2 separate things. Okay? If I have, say for instance, 10 millimeter and I want to go to centimeter. First of all, I'm on millimeter, I want to go to meter. I am going to divide. The question is now by how much? From year to year it's by 10. From year to year it's by 100. So all in all it is, I must use 1, 2, 3 zeros. So I'm going to divide by 1,000 if I am going to put it into meter. And my answer will be 0, let us check, 10 divided by 1,000, it will be 0,01 meter. Grade 12, unfortunately, that is all that I am having time for you for today. I want you to please keep on preparing for paper 2 tomorrow. And when you are preparing and when you are doing the questions, I want you to read the questions very well and to understand very well what is asked of you to do before you just dive into a question and answer it. The next thing that I want to ask you to do is please attempt to do the question. Don't read the question and just leave it out. If you want to return later to it, it's fine. Don't waste time then with the question. Go and do another question. But if the 3 hours is not finished yet, I'm not expecting that you are going to stand up and walk out of the room. I'm going to expect of you to try. The most important thing that I can ask you for tomorrow is to please try. Write something. When you start with a problem, you will not believe me. Then suddenly things will start making more sense. The best way if you don't know what to do is just to start. Grade 12, I'm wishing you all the luck for tomorrow for paper 2. Please keep on preparing, keep on asking your teacher questions and make sure that you are well prepared. Relax, drink lots of water before you go into the room, not to go to the toilet, but remember to keep the brain hydrated, we need to drink water. So grade 12, please, best of luck for tomorrow. Thank you very much.